welcome back to model kit stuff, and the final video in the construction process of Italeri's JU52, which we're doing in the 1936 Berlin Olympics livery, which I think looks really smart. So quickly, where have we got up to? So the long process of putting the decals on this is now finished, and you can see that gives you the full, I'll move that into the light there a bit, that gives you the full finished look there. So I've still got to set that one down, but otherwise we are complete. So that is now done. The black stripes have been painted on, and they were all hand painted. I've got a tiny amount of touch up to do where it leached under the masking tape a little bit, which we will do when we paint some more silver in a moment. And as you can see, the forward wheel struts and the wheels are on. Now actually these wheels fit so tightly that I've not actually glued them in place. But yeah, so they were a little trickier than they could have been. There was nothing in the instructions to say until the time where you came to fit them that actually you need to drill location holes, and I'd made that more difficult by accidentally removing one of the location lugs off the back of each one of these struts. But there is a little ring marked where the hole needs to be drilled on the outside, so I had to drill that from the outside. It wasn't a big deal, but getting it to sit correctly and drilling holes for the support struts at the back became a little bit more challenging than it needed to be. We've also glazed the wing light here, so I've not used the clear part that came with the kit, even though I had a masking disc for it. What I've done is, once the because I'm using this type of decal and the film was going to go over the top, and I was going to struggle to avoid that, what I did was we put the decal over it, we let it pull tight over the opening, we then removed that bit of decal with a sharp knife, and then I've used some micro clear to glaze it, and that looks perfectly fine, I think. So what have we got left to do? We have the rear wheel needs to go on, we have the flaps need to go on the wings, we've got this door to be added, then we have the covers for the wheels to go on, so that's these parts here, and then we've got the 3 engines to build, and then we're done. So the parts that you can see here is everything needed to complete the model. So let's just have a quick conversation about the engines. So there's 3 engines on this. They're differentiated by the fact of the exhausts, otherwise the parts are fairly common. So on the 2 wing engines you get these ring exhausts, which are under the cowling, and then those 2 openings there stick out of the cowling, so you've got 2 exhaust openings. And what we've done is we've just drilled those out. You won't see this on camera. We've just drilled those out a little bit so that they're open, and then the exhaust for the centre engine is a slightly different shape, and the exhaust runs along the nose, so that would be facing forward, that bit there is facing forward, and the exhaust faces backwards. And again, these were drilled out as well, just to give you a little bit of realism to the part. Now these have been painted in Vallejo's burnt iron, and I think if you're doing a one-shot colour on an aircraft exhaust, it gives you a really nice look without having to worry too much about lots of weathering technique. So the engines themselves, the radial engines, as you'll see, that's the one for the nose engine. This is the tail engine. There is no difference really, and they sit inside these cowls. There's quite a heavy moulding seam along the top edge of this, and all we're going to do is just scoot round it with a sanding stick, so that there's nothing there that's going to get in the way of fitting the cowl over it. And then we're going to paint it, and once this is painted, you're only going to see the front and rear faces, and you won't see the rear face particularly well once the exhaust is on. So we're really going to focus on making sure that the front looks fine in terms of flash. There's quite heavy seams that go down the side, so we'll just go in there. Now I have some scrapers, if I can show you, which I use for removing my seams, and I bought this at one of the model shows. I don't know if you can see that, but they're basically little photo etched scrapers that you snap out of a fret, and they're all slightly different shapes and have an edge on them. So they do the same job as using your craft knife to scrape the seams, only because of their different shapes and sizes, you can get them into places that your craft knife won't get into. So yeah, they're quite handy. So we will paint the engines on the same basis that we want to just paint them once, and I'm not too fussed about the weathering. I might give them a black wash just to highlight the detail a little bit, but they have these covers that go over the top anyway, and with the cowling on, I don't think you're going to see much of it, but we'll have a look and take a view. But we're going to paint the engines in AK's Extreme Metal Pale Burnt Metal, which from the off gives you quite a nice oily metal look, so saves you having to do too much weathering. If I was doing a military aircraft, we'd perhaps go to town a little bit more on the weathering, because you're expecting a bit of wear and tear and heavy use. But this aircraft we're depicting was being used to fly VIPs during the 1936 Olympics, when the German government was trying to show Germany off at its best. So this aeroplane would have been absolutely spotless, constantly maintained and cleaned. And I wouldn't, and as a result of that, I've decided I won't be weathering it at all. If there'd been tread on the tyres, I would have done some dust weathering on that maybe, but there isn't. They're totally smooth. Most of it's covered by these wheel covers, so we're not even going to weather the tyres. So from the point of view of finishing, the model's actually quite straightforward. So I'm going to crack on with these little bits and pieces, and probably next part in the video I'll show you the engines being constructed. Okay, so we're now ready to assemble the engines. Let me just show you what we've done. The cowls have been part assembled as far as the wing engines are concerned, and painted black on the inside. The nose cowl is just this ring, and that's also been painted on the inside. Nothing's been painted on the outside yet. The engine parts have been painted, so we've done that pale burnt metal look for the radial engines. I haven't given them a wash, but I am going to, and then these covers have been painted black. The exhausts were painted previously, and Ed showed you that. So now we just need to assemble the engine. So what we're simply going to do, because the props haven't been painted yet, and they're going to be silver, and we'll put those in last. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting the little cover piece on, that piece there, upside down on a cocktail stick and just take that down as far as it'll go. Bring that a bit closer to camera. And we're going to put a little bit of glue. I love this glue, but sometimes you have to just put a little bit of wire down it just to clear it through. Okay, then we're going to take the engine component and put that on the cocktail stick as well, like so, and then we can push that up, and we know we've got the cover perfectly aligned without having to worry about having the prop in it. So I'm going to be gluing the prop in. There is an option in the kit, you put a little O-ring at the back and you glue the prop to the O-ring before you mount it on the engine and it spins, but in my experience it usually means that the prop sags and doesn't sit right, so I prefer to glue mine in. I'm past the age where I go around spinning them anyway. So this is one of the wing engines, so we now need to add the exhaust system. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to plop it on, and there's little location points, and I'm just going to when you look at, you might not be able to see it on camera, but when you look at this, there are stubs on the back. You see that? Some of the stubs are longer than the others, so it's finding the right location point. So which isn't easy. Yes, they all look the same height except for that one. So if we put that one there on a short one, how does that sit? Right, there we go. So we've got that making contact. So I'm just going to use a little bit of super thin glue there just to tack it in place for now, and then what we'll do is we'll run some super fine super glue into these joints. See, I've just moved it with the brush, that doesn't help. There we go. I think that is looking right, so not going to do anything more with that. We'll let that dry and then we'll come back in a sec. If I bring that down there, there we go. I don't think my camera wants to focus, it's not playing ball. Anyway, there we go. So the next thing to do will be to put the cowls on, and we have little holes in the side of the cowls that you actually have to cut through, and they're going to align with the exhaust ring there. And then once my thought process is, once that one is on the engine, then this sub-assembly that I've made up can clip into place. So here we are with the finished model. Italeri Juncus JU52 in its 1936 Berlin Olympics livery. The model itself goes together really, really well. No real issues with the fit, all the instructions, not much in the way of clean up or flash. No real issues with the sink marks or anything like that. So as a model, would recommend it. The most challenging part of the whole build was getting the decals to settle on the ribbed surface of this this particular aeroplane. But with quite a bit of work, they've gone down really quite nicely. So I think the resin seats that we've used in the cockpit make a big difference to the finished look. But yeah, lovely kit to build, not overly complicated. If you've got 2 or 3 aircraft builds under your belt and that's it, you could easily tackle this. And there we have it. So I'd certainly recommend it. Had no particular issues with it at all. As you can see, the engines look really nice when they're finished. And yeah, it has a real 1930s feel about it. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and there'll be more aircraft builds coming along, as well as various other different things as time goes by. Thanks for watching. See you soon.